Hello friends, welcome to Mathiad Institute, where we simplify university for you. Basically, it's an online platform where we tutor, especially computational courses. So if you want to know more about us, please visit www.mathiadinstitute.com. Okay, so today we are looking at GDP. Gross domestic product. Okay, let me put a disclaimer. I will not touch a lot of things under this topic. I will be making segments in other videos. For this particular video, I will miss out certain information, but I have what I want us to know about. So please do not. So what is GDP? So gross domestic product measures the monetary value of final goods and services. Obviously, we are talking about those goods that are used by the final user, that are consumed by the final user in a particular country or jurisdiction in a given period of time. So what are we saying? We are saying that GDP is a total value of goods produced. So if we are talking about, say, a country called Costa Rica, if Costa Rica produces, builds 10,000 houses, sells, groceries over 50 million US dollars, when you add up all those activities that are produced in that particular year, they'll make up what is called the GDP. So this definition is coming from IMF. So for the purposes of this lecture, we are going to use this formula for GDP. Consumption plus investment plus government spending plus, in inverted commas, or in brackets, export minus imports. Okay, so we are going to demonstrate by giving this example. This is just for the purposes of using that formula. This is one of the simplest questions. It's just for illustration purposes. Okay, so we are given 304 consumption, value for consumption, government spending as 156, gross private investment as 124, and net export as 18. So we are supposed to compute the period's GDP. Okay, let's go and dive into it. So GDP is expressed by that formula. GDP is equal to C plus I plus G plus net export. Okay, so we are saying that our consumption is 304 plus our private investment is 124 plus our government spending is 156 plus what else are we remaining with? Okay, we are remaining with net export. So remember, our formula for net export is X minus M. So they have simplified it and given us a block figure, which we're just going to place right there. Okay, so let us have that answer. Okay, so our answer there is, okay, let me just do the drawing. Our answer is 602 US dollars. Okay, that was very simple. We can proceed. Now, as we are talking about GDP, as years keep going, we realize that prices keep on increasing. So now as the prices increase, while the units of those products are maintained, there is that concept that comes in as inflation. Inflation is basically the change or the rise in the prices of goods in a given period of time. Okay, so you can have the year's inflation, a quarterly inflation, depending on how you calculate your inflation. Now, nominal gross domestic product and real GDP both qualify the total value of goods produced in a country in a given year. However, real GDP is adjusted for inflation while nominal GDP isn't. So what we are saying is, as the years keep going, nominal GDP changes, the prices will change. While for the real GDP, the price will be maintained for that base year. The year, you say, if you are starting to calculate your GDP from 2012 going upwards, the prices will be maintained for 2012. What will be changing are the units that you are producing as the years keep going. So that is actually adjusting for inflation. That is very important in order to do comparisons for the years that you are, you are considering. So it is very important for analysis. If prices have increased due to inflation, we can assume that to calculate real GDP, we must deflate GDP, meaning we must remove that component of inflation that is actually deflating. The amount by which we deflate GDP is called the GDP deflator. Okay. So we are going to realize and notice how we can use the GDP deflator in order to find the real GDP. We can also, if we are given the GDP and we are also given the nominal GDP, the real GDP and the nominal GDP, we can calculate the GDP deflator. Okay, so basically what we are saying here is it is very important for us to know the real GDP because it helps us compare years or periods. And as you have seen in the graph, we have the nominal GDP upward and we have the real GDP down. So for each particular year or period, the real GDP will always be lower because you are kind of removing that inflation aspect. There are, of course, conditions where that is vice versa when you have deflation, we're having your prices going down. So that will mean that your real GDP will go up. Okay, so let's have an illustration of what we are talking about. An illustration of what we are talking about. Okay, so here is a question to put everything into perspective. Consider a macroeconomy that produces two goods, product A and product B. So you are given the quantities, total quantities in that particular year that are produced. Then you're also given the prices at which these are being sold, or were being sold at, or are being valued at. So let's take, for instance, 2012, you have product A, 5 units, and 5 units of product B, priced at 20 and $10 respectively. In 2013, you have 6 units of product A and 4 units of product B, valued at 25 and $15 respectively. Now, here the question is saying, calculate the nominal and real GDP for 2012 and 2013 using 2012 as the base year. Remember what I was telling you about the base year? The base year is that year where you start, counting or measuring your GDP. So in this case, we are starting in 2012, going to 2013. So 2012 becomes our base year. All right. So now we are not even going to use a particular formula for this because as economics students, I am assuming we are good at math. So we are going to, just create our own based on the information and the definition of what GDP is. So we are saying GDP is the gross domestic, is the value of the total goods produced in a particular year, final goods produced in a year. So here we have been given that we produced a total of 5 in 2012. Now the value of the 5 is determined by the price. So we are going to multiply 5 by 20 to determine the value of product A that we produced. Now we need the total. So we are also going to add product B. So we know that we produced a total value of, the total units of 5 and priced at 10 US dollars. So we are going to multiply 5 by 10 to find the total value of product B. After finding the total values of each, we're going to add them together to find the total value produced in that particular year, and that will be our GDP. Now, here, this GDP, since we are not considering base year or whatever, this is going to be our nominal GDP. And the question is saying we are starting with our nominal GDP. So, here we go. Nominal GDP is equal to, so we are saying that, I'll put them in brackets, product A multiplied by the price plus product B, or units of product B, multiplied by the respective price. Okay, so here we are saying that product A is 5, the units are 5, multiplied by the respective price, which is 20 for 2012, plus product B is 5 units multiplied by the respective price, which is 10. Okay, so we know that 5 multiplied by 20 is 100, and 5 multiplied by 10 is 50. Okay, and that will give us 150. Basically, that is our nominal GDP. Okay, so let's go to year 2020 or 2013. Okay, so 2013, we're going to say nominal GDP is equal to, so put 2013 here. Okay, so let's go to our question. So we have product in 2013, we produced six units of A at 25. Okay, so let's write that down. 6 units at 25 kwacha or dollars, plus, what do we have next? 4 units of product B at 15 US dollars. Okay, let's write that down too. We said 4 multiplied by 15. Okay, so basically we have 6 times 25. Okay, so we will have 210 in total, 210 US dollars. Okay, now let us look at the real GDP. So we said we have to maintain the prices of the base year for the real GDP. So if we are maintaining the prices of the base year, meaning the prices of the nominal GDP and the real GDP for 2012 will be the same, because the prices will still be the same. We would have maintained those prices. So that will mean nominal GDP for 2012 will be equal to real GDP for 2012. Okay, so what about 2013? So we are saying that in 2013 we are going to get the values or the units of 2013. So the units of 2013 are 6 and 4, but maintain the prices of 2012. So we are going to have 6 by 20 plus 4 by 10. So remember, these prices are for 2012, while these units are for 2013. That is how you calculate your real GDP. So here we are going to have 160 as our total answer, which is the real GDP GDP for 20